So we are going to be talking about should you guys summon for Zeta Gundam and Kamille Bidan. So I'm just going to get this straight with you guys. If you guys are planning to summon regardless, for example, please pull. If you guys are able to pull, like you actually do have it, don't go back into the banner yet until you are able to secure yourself Kamille. Because if you don't have Kamille, we're gonna have a big issue as far as the performance, which we will be going over in just a little bit. So me personally, I have pulled the Zeta obviously, and I pulled Kamille. So I have done comparison. Let's say if you don't have Kamille, you're using like a generic unit or like a generic pilot. Let's say for example, I'm using the Binoculars at the standard one, not the limited one, just to see what kind of differences we are getting. And then I obviously do have some other unit on the roster that show you guys like, man, the damage difference is actually pretty surprising. So if you guys regardless want to summon and refuse not to summon, you gotta summon for Kamille. I'm just gonna say that right now. So let's kind of take a look at this unit. So Zeta being our second extreme limited banner unit. So let's kind of quickly take a look at the stat, and then we'll go over everything from top to bottom. So stat wise, the thing is actually pretty good. We are gonna compare real quick to what some of the other future releases and past releases for the yellow element and generic unit, so you guys can get a feel of, you know, pretty much all of these generic type unit has relatively same stat, if not just, you know, a little bit of a fluctuation depending on what it does. So this one, what we are looking at is the Zeta, or not the not Zeta, New Gundam. This one is the double fin funnel type version of it, and you guys can see stat are pretty similar. This one is the doll. This one is pretty similar stat, pretty good. Up next we have the bound dog, same stat. I think you guys are seeing really balanced that, especially for the increased projectile and beam, because I think somewhere along the kit should have things that are, you know, beam and or projectile at the same time. So we have that. And then we have the 1.5 year anniversary GPO 3, same stat, balance like somewhere in the kit, probably the Hyper Bazooka. That is why we have, you know, same increase for the physical or the projectile and beam, right? Same offense, pretty similar defense as the Zeta, pretty much, yeah. Up next we have the Shars Zagud. You guys can see same thing. And moving to the half year anniversary Phoenix narrative type version, same thing, balance. So are you guys getting the trend yet? I hope you guys do. But let's keep going now. We have the Sasabi. This one is the PV from the Last Stars version, same stat, a little bit higher, a little bit skewed on the beam, because this one should be specifically dealing beam. Yep. And last but not least, we have the standard unicorn, the OG one that we have currently, same thing. So yeah, that definitely paints the picture to say that stat are definitely pretty similar. So now let's taking a look at the EXQ. I think one of the biggest elephant in the room is the EXQ. Like, look at that. There's two portions to it. One of them is just dealing generic unit bypassing defense, so that's actually pretty clutch, not bad. And the second line, we have the when status is unavoidable, we deal an additional portion, which is actually pretty big. Consider that this one is maxed out level 5, so even at level 1, that is pretty sizable. And ignore defense as well, that is pretty good. But what unit right now that actually can apply the unavoidable status? There's not many. The noticeable one is the Hakashiki that was released few weeks ago, or just 2 weeks ago. That one is definitely the best partner for this unit because it can apply that for 6 seconds. So, but in my defense, when trying it out, I wasn't getting a 100% ratio where when pairing both of them, they are able to execute EXQ simultaneously. You wanting Hakashiki to execute first, then followed by a Zeta. That was actually not happening. You guys will definitely see that they are in a situation where Zeta, because of the skill condition, activate EXQ at a much more faster rate than Hakashiki could. Because I'm even using a friend that has a max out Hakashiki, okay? It's not like a bare stock. Even at a max out Hakashiki, I was having a hard time with Hakashiki building up the EXQ gauge, so that is going to be a huge problem if you want to get a consistent sizable increase to your EXQ damage. Is not possible, okay? Unless you pump a lot into the EXQ increase gauge for the unit enhancement. But I mean, like, would people really do that? I don't know, but that is something you have to do to have them paired up nicely, right? So that's a big issue. But in my defense, again, testing it out, I didn't really see a huge difference as far as having the enemy take that additional chunks, because even EXQs themselves don't really equate to like a bigger percent of the overall damage total. So this is pretty negligible, right? So we have that. So the Transcendent skill. So Zeta without Transcendent skill is pretty equivalent to some of your standard banner unit. I kid you not. So I have a Ricochet at Transcendent skill 3, and if you guys do not know what the Ricochet does, at Transcendent skill level 3 actually increases the strong attack beam rifle output by like 40%, for example. That right there is enough to be on the same damage level as Zeta at stock. Is that crazy? So Zeta without the Transcendent skill is actually pitifully awful. Despite the fact that you say that with the kid he's actually pretty strong, is good and whatnot. No, he is bad. You guys are gonna be seeing damage report left and right that states that Zeta is nothing without the Transcendent skill. So in my next video, probably gonna be tomorrow, I will be trying him out. I have my Zeta will be at Transcendent skill level 3, so we can do a pretty do Zeta justice, right? But at a heavy investment. So it's not even funny without that. So if you guys do, I feel like I would not suggest you guys to go ham without pulling the pilot first, because you pull one copy of Zeta, you pull a copy, that's your two utmost priority. Having dupes is a secondary options will make Zeta better, but I feel like if you don't have the pilot, is not, you're not doing yourself justice, which we'll be going over in just a little bit. But skill 1, skill 2, what are they doing? So skill 1 is where you are gonna see why Zeta is good for being able to execute EXQ, because with these two skills in total, we are getting a hefty amount of EXQ gauge increase. At the first 30 seconds at least, you're getting up to 110% increase. That is crazy. You guys can see how rapidly, when dealing damage, Zeta can dash out as EXQ. I say that's pretty fast. Definitely pretty fast. Even on skill 2, you're getting at least a 33% at the start of the battle. That's good. And on skill 2, you do unlock the strong beam rifle, or the strong attack beam rifle, so that's cool. So this one would allow you to do more range damage for sure. And you do have 19% beam damage increase when the EXQ is active for 10 seconds only. But this overall unit, you wouldn't really have a problem getting EXQ out anyway, so you shouldn't worry too much about, oh, I'm not able to fulfill that within the 10 seconds. You will, you definitely will. So, but other than that, Zeta is pretty bare stock without this. And why? Now let's talk about why you really need Kamille. Let's kind of first start out with the stat. It is not bad. Range sense being almost at 150 and reaction almost at 150. That is a very good sign. So that will allow you to do more damage. Having a higher reaction number does allow you to either guard or evade a little bit more frequent. So we love to see that. This is where I feel like Kamille is good. Look at that. When this is paired up to a yellow element unit, and whenever EXQ is active for the first 10 seconds, increase range sense by another 114%. That is good. Like, that is where the majority of the beefy power is going to be coming from. It's not going to be coming from your but not your links. No, you need a pilot like him. He's going to age really well into other future releases that is yellow and generic, right? That is definitely a no question right there. And just take a look at the skill too. When this is equipped to a generic unit, when the battle begins, increase range sense by 46%. That is baseline. That is good. And you have this, that is like over 160. That is really good. So that's why I do feel like you need Kamille. I cannot stress that enough. You need him. And then in terms of the skill too, we have 4 different effects. So 2 of them are going to increase the accuracy. So with higher accuracy, you obviously are able to hit your enemy without worrying that, oh, you might miss, your enemy may evade. So that's actually nice to have. That's good. That's definitely really good. And transformer unit, that's obviously Zeta is, so you do have a reaction time, so that's not bad. Having that increase on reaction will allow you to hopefully dodge more and being able to guard more. Not bad. And the last one being a AU affiliated, another 46% to range sense increase. That's powerful. I don't think I need to say too much about Zeta or Kamille. He's just that good. So yeah. But other than that, do definitely let me know how you guys feel about the Extreme Limited Zeta Gundam. I feel like Zeta is definitely a investment heavy unit for sure. Without proper investment, I feel like Zeta may not perform at its peak, at least without the Transcendent skill being the crucial and I feel like the vocal point of making this unit great again, right? But if you don't, let's say for example, you aren't able to transcend it right now, the problem is because how they handle these, by the time the banner is over, whenever it's over, you only have that much time until you can free Transcendent. So it's making you pull a lot of dupes for sure. But if you don't mind later down the road, you guys have some rainbow coins, you can definitely start buying Zeta right here for a cost of 300 per fragments. So it's gonna take a minute, but I mean, if you have the unit and pilot already, why not just wait and max it out later on? So since I do have it at Transcendent skill 3 now, it's safe to say that I'm not going to be pushing any further, and I'll just probably be buying fragments so I can eventually max it out. But I mean, other than that, that's pretty much it. Do definitely let me know how you guys feel about Zeta. Do you guys find Zeta to be very strong or mid? Let me know that in the comment section below. If you guys have pull it, try it out. But other than that, that's pretty much it for me, and I'll be catching you guys up on the next one.